So how is her accuser responding? What is his version of events? And what conclusion is he hoping for? Joining me now is Glen Kirkland in Brandon, Manitoba. Hi, Mr. Kirkland. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I want to start off by getting your response to some of what Ms. Moore said today that differs from what you've told reporters in the past. And I'll start off with, she said that you pursued her, that you texted her, initiated kissing her in her office, and that you invited her to your Ottawa hotel and then went to your room. Is that accurate?
No, not even close. It's far from it. It's like I've said the whole time, it's what's happened is she was very inappropriate throughout the process, and I was a witness, and she was acting as judge and jury. And then, again, if I forget who the reporter was that coined it so well, but if she was Chris and I was Glenda, then this would be an exceptionally different conversation right now.
I totally understand where you're coming from. You know, she presented her version of events today in a press conference, and I just want to make sure that I present them to you and get your fulsome response, you know? And she also said that, that you had planned to come see her, that she has a copy of the itinerary, but that you had to cancel ultimately because of your ex-wife's reaction. Can you respond to that allegation?
Well, I spent $1,000 on a plane ticket to get her off my case. I had no intentions on ever going. I had, you know, like she stated from her own test or her own comments, we met 3 times. Both times she came to me, and then the first time, obviously, I was subpoenaed to go testify in Ottawa. And she said that we were in a relationship, which is just completely false. 3 times over, like, I think it was like 9 months. Like, I have a better relationship with my dentist. Like, that's just not, it's just not a thing. It's completely inaccurate.
She said, though, that she didn't just show up out of nowhere, for example, when she saw you in Brandon, that she had sent you an itinerary and that you picked her up and took her to your apartment. Is that accurate?
Well, she told me as she was driving to the airport that she's coming here. And as you could imagine, if you're completely surprised and shocked by something like that, you don't totally trust their mental well-being at that point. So obviously, I don't want her running around Brandon, you know, doing whatever she was going to do. Like, yes, I definitely picked her up and tried to hide her as best as possible.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I didn't want her to be here. Like, I wasn't.
Because she said you played golf with your friends.
She said that she played golf with my friends?
Yes, that you guys played golf.
No, definitely not.
So what do you mean then? Because she's basically what she's saying is that this wasn't me just kind of showing up at his house out of nowhere.
Yes, yes. Well, her and I went golfing because, again, I took her to the most remote golf course possible, so no one could actually see us together. But yeah, I didn't introduce her to my friends on a golf course or anything like that. Sorry, I misunderstood your question.
No, that's okay. Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of all of it as well.
Yeah,
myself.
It's me too. Actually, it's a lot to take on.
At the end of the day, you know, she's essentially saying that this isn't how you presented it. That it isn't as though there was no. That she even said that you said you loved her at some point. Why do you think there are these? I mean, the public is getting 2 very different versions of events.
Well, just look at her facts. You know, she says that, or she says that we've met 3 times. I agree. So how could I love her after meeting her 3 times? I'd like to have a little bit of common sense in that. Like, that's an outrageous allegation, you know, for one. But again, like, the biggest issue here isn't even like after Ottawa. It was what happened during Ottawa. And again, like, the focus on what she claims, like, how do you prove that you weren't in a relationship? Like how is that like, how can you do that? All I've been is honest throughout this whole process. There's still, like, I have not made a complaint against her. No one has. It's just she's now dragging this out, and I don't understand what's going on. But I hope she gets the help that she needs.
The NDP has launched what they're calling an independent investigation into this, though. Are you going to participate in that? Have you been asked to participate in it?
I have not been contacted by the government at all, by any party.
Would you participate in that investigation?
Sorry, yes, I would. Yes, oh, absolutely. That was my intention the whole time. I thought instead of making this jury through the media, I thought this would be could be conducted behind closed doors. Like, she was so grossly inappropriate. And remember, like, if I was a female and she was a male, think about how different our interview would be right now. You know, I made an emotional testimony, and then she took advantage of her position to prey on someone who's clearly in a vulnerable spot. Like, I was severely wounded in Afghanistan, and, you know, I was sent to testify in Ottawa, and, you know, there's a lot going on there.
How has it been for you since coming forward?
Again, I didn't come forward. You guys came to me. Like, that's one thing too. Like,
sorry, you're right. You're right. Sorry, no. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but like, so
since this became public, I should say.
Well, I mean, how would it feel for anyone to have that mulligan posted all over the news, right? Like, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not claiming rape here or anything like that. It's what I'm saying is that she was completely inappropriate in her actions. And remember, like, think about it too. If I was a girl and she was a guy, you know, how would you feel? Again, it's completely outlandish. And her, you know, her doing that press conference and crying on there, if she's making it out like she's a victim, and I'm sorry, but she clearly preyed on someone who was vulnerable, and I just happened to be a guy.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Kirkland. I appreciate it.
No problem.
A reminder that we asked to speak with Christine Moore about this. She declined our request to do so in an interview. We will continue to extend an invitation.